today? Well, today's a little special. Okay, you've known me. I've made bitters, which I use all the time. I've made simple syrups. I've made bourbons and whiskeys. And what do you use all that for? Old fashions. I love old fashions. It's one of my favorite drinks, but one thing you need for old fashioned is cocktail cherries. And that's what we're going to make today. Cocktail cherries. They're going to be fantastic. So the only thing that we won't have here for the old fashioned is orange. I can't make oranges. All right, not yet. Okay, so I want to show you how to make cocktail cherries. It's actually relatively simple, okay? But first things first, welcome to Still Works in Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is the channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. All right, so what's the ingredients in these cocktail cherries? Of course, I got 2 pounds of fresh cherries, and I've already pitted them. That's labor intensive. I got some almond extract. I got some fresh lemons, some sugar, and just a little bit of citric acid, but you don't have to have citric acid, but the recipe calls for it. Okay, so what do I want to do? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, this is the 2 pounds of cherries. I'm going to put them in a pot. All right. Then I have 2 pounds of just white sugar. 2 pounds of white sugar. And I'm going to put that in there. All right. And then what I want is I'm going to use some fresh lemon juice. I'm going to use 2. These are pretty good sized lemons, so I'm going to use 2 of them. If they were small, you could use 3. But I think it comes out to like, 7 tablespoons of lemon juice. Then we'll squeeze and stuff it out of them. All right. We're going to put the lemon juice in there. Did I just? No. I thought I dumped the seeds in there. I didn't want the seeds in there. Let me get this out of the way. Let me get some stuff out of the way. Now the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of citric acid. I'm gonna go like a half. And then 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Okay. All right. So all I want to do is just mix these up a little bit with a wooden spoon. I don't want to tear the cherries up. All right. So what we're going to do is I want to just bring this up a low heat. What I'm trying to do is I want to melt the sugar, and then we're just going to simmer it very easy, and we're going to make a syrup with the cherries, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be back. Sugar starting to melt. And once this comes up to a simmer, we want to let it simmer for 1 hour at a very low simmer. We're just going to get some of the juice out of them cherries, soften them up, and bring out the deliciousness. Okay. Just coming up to a simmer. And what we're really trying to do, we're going to let it simmer for 1 hour real low. So with the citric acid, of course from the lemons and the citric acid, we are going to, basically we're going to invert that sugar all in the same process of making a syrup. And they say that inverted sugar is a little sweeter. Okay. So, and then plus within simmering this, it will get more of a thicker syrup and that's what we want. And they'll be great for cocktails. But you best be watching it. I'm using a high-sided pot just to make sure that I don't boil it over. Can you imagine me making a mess? I'm very good at that, ain't I? But I'm hoping not to do that today because this would be a mess. All right, so with that all being said, I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour. And then we get ready to move this process over. It's been an hour. Them cherries, they look fantastic. Oh, they look so delicious. All right, so I'm going to kill the heat. All right, I ain't quite sure how many jars I'm going to need. So I got me 4 jars all nice and clean and sterilized and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting cherries in the jars. But I want to save enough room for some of that great syrup. Oops. I must have missed a cherry pit. These are going to be fantastic. So I'm going to fill each jar up halfway with just the cherries. All right. Now the syrup, it will thicken up as it cools down, but I want it in here hot. That helps sterilize everything. I did sterilize the jars. And like I said, I did a low simmer because I didn't want to kill them cherries, destroy them. I know what I need. I guess it'll work better. All right, I almost got them. It's trickier than I thought. All right. I got all the cherries out. Fill up each jar full of the syrup. Put a lid on them. Okay, so there is our cocktail cherries. Let me just taste a little bit of this. Oh, that is going to make one fantastic drink. Now, one thing I will do, because I have some of this beautiful syrup left over. I got some of this beautiful syrup left over that I don't want it to go to waste. I just started saying that jar. I am going to save this. I'm going to save that for, so there is our cocktail cherries. They're going to make a fantastic old fashioned. And I ended up with some cherry simple syrup, which tastes fantastic too. All right, so I'm going to let them cool off, and then I can stick them in the refrigerator and get ready to enjoy them. So there is all the things you need to make old fashions, and I'll put this in a separate playlist. So if you want the simple syrups or the bitters, you can make anything that you want to make, because I made bunches of bitters, which I enjoy them in many different things. So that'd be really, really, really enjoyable. And like I said, I'll put it in a playlist, so if you wanted to watch them all, please do so. All right? All right. I think you could, it said just 2 pounds of cherries. I think you could actually, with this recipe, go 3 and have plenty to make a whole bunch of cherries. I think next time that's what I'll do. Okay? So, with that being said, I think the last thing I got to say is, hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Still Works and Broad. Cheers, everybody.